Welcome, writers, readers, and friends to the Authors Talking Bookish podcast. I'm Donna Norman Carbone, author of All That Is Sacred.
And I'm Hope Gibbs, author of Where the Grass Grows Blue.
We're two debut writers traditionally published by a small publishing house, bringing to you all the experiences that we as authors learn the hard way, so you don't have to.
We'll give you insights from the inception of a book idea to publication and beyond. And along the way, we'll share our love of books from the writer's perspective.
Hi, friends. Welcome to episode 6. Today, we're talking about navigating social media tips for writers. I'm Donna Norman Carbone, and I am joined by my co-host, Hope Gibbs.
Hello, everyone. And hello, Donna. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited about this episode because as a debut novelist and as a new writer, I've really had to depend on social media to get the word out about my book, about my brand. It's been a huge deal in my life this year.
Yeah, mine too. And I think today our hopes are that we are going to give you an overview of all the different social media platforms and from our perspective, at least, the pros and cons to using them and how to get the most out of your social media.
Yes, which is very important. So before we dig in, let's talk about what's been going on with you. What has happened in August?
Well, I started school this week.
Oh,
I'm back.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm back at school. I always love, I'm kind of like a kid. I get super excited the first weeks of school. I love meeting my new students and just, I don't know, each class has its own personality. So I love discovering that. So yeah, I'm excited to be back to school. I always think I need 1 or 2 more weeks of summer and never quite get that, but that's okay. I'll get it next summer. What about you?
Well, I'm an empty nester again. The college kids, they've gone back to school and, just trying to adjust to that. The house is a lot quieter and my kitchen is a lot less busy. My kids, they attract a lot of friends and I love it. And so this summer, at some point I would have 10 kids at my house and they're very hungry. So
You have a lot of boys. Boys tend to be very hungry.
Yes, they do. And then I just got back from a little trip, a little 50th birthday trip for one of my husband's friends. And we just got back from the beach. And so that was nice. So yeah, it was a nice little break.
Excellent. What are you reading?
Okay, so everyone keeps talking about this book, and I have a friend I play tennis with, and she kept saying, "You've got to pick it up. You've got to pick it up." So I am going to be reading this, Demon Copperhead, and I think it takes place in a state that I kind of like.
Yeah. I read that book. It's fabulous. If you really like it, you should read David Copperfield, which she fashioned after that book. So that book is a modern day sort of retelling of David Copperfield.
Oh, well, I can't wait. That is my new book. That is the book I'm digging into.
It's very good, heavy, and it's long, but it's very good.
It is a heavy book. But I can't wait to read it.
Both literally and emotionally heavy.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about what you're reading. What's going on with you?
I'm reading As Though You Were Mine, which is a book coming out. I got an ARC copy of it, and so I'm doing a review. Janet Runquist is one of our fellow rap sisters, and she has a book coming out. And so I told her I would read an ARC, which is very good. It's a very good read. Almost done, almost ready to print my review.
Oh, okay. Well, that as a author, especially a new author, any and every review is so important. I never really realized how important reviews were until I was on this side of the book instead of the other. And
neither did I.
Yeah, they're so important. I mean, especially with Amazon and Goodreads, it definitely it's a big deal.
Yeah. Amazon has a very confusing algorithm that none of us can quite understand.
No.
But reviews help Reviews help a lot. So if you want to do something to help an author that you really like, write a review for their book if you loved it.
So let's get into the topic, because that kind of also, it goes along with reviews, and let's talk about social media.
Yeah.
So social media, it has its good points and also has some down points. But for an author, especially if you're new, or you may be a self-published author, or with a smaller press, or with a hybrid, social media is a great way to promote not only your book, but you as a writer. And
Mm.
so there are actually, I would say, 4 to 5 big social media that I have worked with, and we want to go through them and talk about the pros and the cons, and also the demographics. And I think the first one, as a writer, that my go-to is Instagram.
Mhm.
Donna, what about you? What is your go-to social media? Where are you most comfortable?
Yeah, I would say Instagram is my primary social media that I use. Prior to becoming an author, I had a Facebook page, which I probably used even more than my Instagram. And my Instagram was like my own personal photo album.
Mhm.
And then when I signed my contract, I thought, I don't know if I want to share my own personal photo album with, people I don't really know. So I decided to create a professional page, and I am not sorry that I did.
Yeah, I did the same thing. So I had Facebook, and I had Instagram, and it
Mhm.
was mainly covering the events of my children. It was, it's almost, when I go back and look at it, I can see exactly what they were doing. But I wanted to keep it separate. But I also wanted to keep it separate because I didn't want my Facebook friends and
Yeah.
my Instagram friends to constantly see me posting about my book. Now, right now, in the past few weeks, because some things have happened, I do cross over, but I didn't want it to be book, 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 book.
Yeah.
And so I set up 2 different accounts, as well as Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter, for me, for personally, I don't really engage. I'm one of those people that just reads through. I've got, it's kind of like my little news, my own little personal news network. But yes, so for me, Instagram, I would say, is the one I lean into the most.
Yeah. Twitter, now called X.
Yeah. So
Um,
let's talk about Instagram. So with Instagram, the audience tends to be younger. So with Instagram, it's the demographic is really, the target age is 18 to 34.
mhm.
But it's equally mixed. It's a little heavier female, but it's equally mixed male and female. And it's the great thing about Instagram. It's free out there. I mean, you can boost your post. You can, actually spend
Okay.
money, but it's a great way to build a community. And for me, I really felt like I was building a community last summer when I was starting to follow book bloggers and authors. And that's how I made a lot of connections in the book world before I even had a book.
Yeah, Bookstagram is a very popular community on Instagram. And one of the things that I felt that I needed to do was to reach out to Bookstagrammers, because those are the readers. And, most of my audience should be readers, even though I like to kibitz with my writer friends as well. I do have a lot of writer friends on there. But yeah, it's important to find that sort of Bookstagram community, because they're going to be the ones reading your book at
Yeah.
some point. And one of the things I really like about Instagram is I like the 3 different kinds of posts. Like, you can do just a single post, you can do a stacked single post, you can do a story, which both of those are directed towards the people that are following you. Or you can do a reel, which goes out to people beyond just your followers. And you can actually get followers from posting reels. They used to be very popular on Instagram. I think they're losing a little bit of popularity because of TikTok, but I still use them all the time.
Yes. And that's the thing about when I started my professional Instagram account, I was a little nervous. I'm like, how am I going to fill,
Mhm.
a year to a year and a half, because that's how long it takes to get a book, even after you sign your deal. How am I going to market myself or my book? And so one of the things I did to fill content is I started reviewing books that I was reading. And it actually helped me in multiple ways that I didn't expect. First off, it gave me content.
Mhm.
Second off, it also helped me as a writer because I'm now trying to write a summation and give my opinion on a book. But I also inadvertently connected with authors that I didn't realize that I was doing that. And they would thank me for the review. A lot of times, if you tag the author, they'll acknowledge it. But I also got authors following me. And then when I needed my author blurbs, which is what you'll need when your book is coming out, you want, an author to blurb your book. It was a lot easier because I made that connection over that year of selling my book to when my book came out.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you post the same content across your social media, or do you have specific content that you post to each of the kinds of social media?
Well, the great thing about Instagram is that there's a little button, if you're not familiar with it, that you can share automatically to your Facebook. So that does help because, you're not having to make a Facebook post and a Instagram post. They go together, but you can't go the other way. You can't post to Facebook and it go to your Instagram.
Mhm.
So that helped. But yes, I don't post the same things usually on TikTok as I would on, Instagram or whatnot. So,
Mhm.
and with Twitter, I'm still trying to figure out Twitter.
Yeah.
But yes, but I try to keep it. There are certain things that I will post on Instagram that I won't post on Facebook. I
Yeah.
don't find that Facebook readers or my readers, they don't enjoy my book reviews as much as they enjoy more personal things.
Yeah.
So you just kind of find it's a lot like throwing spaghetti on the wall sometimes. You just throw things out there and see what people like.
Yeah, that's true. I do tend to post articles, like helpful writing articles or articles about books, on my Facebook account. You can't really post an
Yeah.
article on Instagram. You can kind of tag things or use website at URLs on Facebook,
Mhm.
and you can't really do that on Instagram unless you have a link tree,
Yes.
which is a totally different topic. But if you are an aspiring author and looking into setting up some social media for yourself, you should definitely look into Linktree.
Absolutely. And so before we go to our next social media platform with Instagram, one of the most important tools I have is Canva. We've discussed that in a prior episode. It is an app that you can make your own digital content. You can even, put a picture of a book that you're reading, and then you can create a whole. It looks like you're at the beach because you can bring in a different photo, and that's very important for me. And also discovered this app called Insta Stories, and
Mhm.
it makes my stories, which is something I never used before when I was a regular Instagram, mom user. It helps you create really interesting content for your stories. And I don't always post every day on Instagram because I don't want to be in everyone's face every day, but I try to at least post a story.
I wanted to just add to that for a minute. Canva, one of the things I was told to do, someone advised me, was to get a membership to some like stock image
Mhm.
website so you could get stock images. The good thing about Canva is Canva has their own stock images.
Yes.
So you can use those for free. So I would check out Canva before I even sign on to like a Dreams Time or something like that to get stock images.
And that's the other thing that people need to be careful about with stock images. So we're writers and our copyright, we want our work to be protected. And so photographers are the same way. And I early on I do pay for some stock images outside of Canva because Canva will not always, they're not going to have like the Barbie premiere, pictures. They're not going to have some pop culture. Theirs are more generic, although they've got millions of
They actually
images.
do have Barbie,
Well,
but not a big selection.
yes, but of celebrities,
Yeah,
because you're really not going to find that on
right.
Canva. And so, I would say, I don't know if people realize that you just can't screenshot a picture and put it on your social media because a photographer owns that copyright.
Yeah.
And there's been some celebrities that have actually been sued. I think Lisa Rinna was one of them, because she was using pictures of herself that had been
Mhm,
taken, but she had not given the photo cred or paid for the picture. So
mhm.
that's something that you need to be careful with on Instagram. Don't just screenshot anything and put it up on your Instagram account.
Yeah, the other thing is too, I used to, before I really kind of knew this, I would screenshot other people's Instagram accounts and like share them on mine. Now there's like a legal way to do it, and it's called repost. And so there's a repost app that you can download. And if you want to repost somebody else's content from their account, you can repost it to yours and it attributes it to them. So I would definitely look into repost as well. And in addition to Insta stories, because I use that as well, I also have an app called Scroll, which makes some really dynamic reels and also photo content. So that's another one that you can check out as well.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so let's go over to Facebook, the original social media. Well, maybe MySpace, but the one that the big one. So Facebook, it's a diverse user base. It tends to trend a little older.
Mhm.
You're looking at the demographic of about 25 to 54. That's the demographic, and the gender is evenly split. But the great thing about Facebook, it's everywhere, and again, it's free, and you can use this as a way to promote yourself and your book.
Yeah, and if you have your own personal page, you can make like an author page off of that.
Yes.
So I kind of had my own personal page, and then there's I think it's just called a page, that you can create almost like a sister page to yours, where yours is the main account. But then that way, you're not inviting people to follow your personal account. You can have them follow your author page, and you should probably have the name author in the name of your page. So mine is Donna Norman Carbone, author.
And I'm author Hope Gibbs.
Yeah.
So, yes, and so I get it's funny because some things that work on Instagram don't work on my Facebook account, but and then vice versa. So it's just a lot of figuring out who is your base, who's following you. And also, I've learned a lot when I've taken out Facebook ads. I'm still new at it, but that also tells me I get a reading of people who are looking at my ads and where they're from and your click-through rate. So you can also buy ads on Instagram as well, but I have found that Facebook ads have been much more effective.
Cool. All right, let's move to TikTok.
Okay, now TikTok
And
is
can I
very young.
can
Uh,
I just say something? This
yes.
is where hope really shines.
Oh, very sweet. My daughter got me onto TikTok. My daughter, she has at one point she had 1 million followers. She was like a little TikTok queen, and we were getting all these packages at our house for free, and we're like, "What is going on?" And people were sending her things to put in her TikTok. I am not that way, but I do enjoy. I guess that theater that semester I was a theater major kind of paid off, but I do enjoy TikTok, but I still haven't quite figured it out. It trends mainly 16 to 34, but there is a huge book talk community that, if you're a writer, maybe try to tap into.
Yeah, I just started TikTok last summer, was my first TikTok. And so I've gone like a whole year now, and I just feel like I'm starting to get traction.
Oh, you do great. You're on TikTok a lot more than I am. You definitely utilize it better than I.
Oh, I don't know about
Oh, well.
that.
Um, but no, TikTok, but there are publishers that are paying attention, and TikTok is what really got Colleen Hoover really got a big boost because you
There's
know
another YA author who got a big boost as well. He had a TikTok that went viral, and now his YA book is just like taking off crazily.
yeah. So and then there's Twitter, and then there's the new Threads. I don't know. I mean, I just joined Threads. I'm really trying to figure that one out. But use social media as a way to promote yourself. And again, you have to put some time into it. You need to pay attention to what's working for you, what's not. And again, it changes daily. Those algorithms change. The algorithm from Instagram last year has changed now.
Yeah, there's actual apps that you can get as well to let you know what the trends are on
Yeah.
various, social media platforms.
So, but let's talk about now, because social media is great and you and I both utilize it, but
Mhm,
let's talk about the health of social media and how to set boundaries, because if I could get sucked into social media and spend hours doing that, but
mhm,
not writing, which is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's what I enjoy.
yeah.
Donna, do you have a time where you're like, this is when I am not getting on social media. I'm not looking no matter what.
Yes. I, usually get up, have my cup of coffee, and the first thing that I do is post my daily posts on social media. I try to do that by about 7 between 7 and 8 every morning. I Consistency is also important,
Yes.
because the algorithm will pick up on whether or not you're consistently posting. So I do consistently post. I try to post every single day. Every once in a while, I'll post twice if something has arisen and it's time sensitive. I'll put it out there, and then typically I step away. So I just put my posts up there, walk away, and I try not to look at social media again until after dinner time at night, when I'm normally relaxing anyway. And I will, kind of sit in front of the TV, half listen to the TV, half reply to my social media accounts. Yeah, I try not to get on social media very much during the day because it could be an energy and time sucker.
Yeah, but it's also wonderful too, because, and this is recent because my book is still new, as yours is as well. People that you have no connection with, you don't know them, reaching out, and
Mhm,
it's really nice for someone to say something nice about your book or how much they enjoyed it. And that's nice as well. And I try to always respond if someone has responded, a
mhm.
respectful. I mean, because there are bots out there, and I've had a few issues with some not so friendly comments, but it's also a wonderful way to connect with people that you never would have connected with otherwise.
Yeah, it's how we connected.
It is that we did connect. We connected over one post on
Mhm,
Facebook, and that post, it changed me as a writer, as an author. And I have a really good friend who technically I've never met in person, but that's going to change soon.
yeah,
But it's amazing the power of social media.
yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to be starting to wrap this up. And Donna, as I always like to say, as our teacher, can you give us our homework?
Sure. So what we have done is we have put down, on our show notes some accounts that we think you should follow. Um, and I think really right now you just want to be an observer. Open up your accounts, whatever accounts you decide. Take a look at what other people are doing. Decide where you feel most at home. Don't try to do everything. I would focus on one social media until you feel comfortable with it, and then shift your focus to another.
And if one isn't working for you, I really think that you just kind of let it go, because don't feel like that you have to post on that medium because everyone else does. Find what works for you. That's a boundary to set for yourself.
Excuse me.
Bless you. So Donna, we're going to wrap it up, and can you tell everyone where they can find us on social media?
Sure. You can find us both on Instagram, both our personal accounts and at Authors Talking Bookish. You can also find us on our website where we have our show notes and free downloads, at www.authorstalkingbookish.com.
Well, Donna, as always, it is a pleasure, and I have had a wonderful time. This I really enjoy talking about the social media aspect of being an author. It can be sometimes stressful, but it can be wonderful as well.
Yeah, it has opened a lot of doors, I think.
It certainly has. I think we could do another episode on just this, because there's a lot of material to cover. So, okay, everyone, until next time.
Next time, we're going to talk about developing a craft book library.
Ooh, I can't wait to talk about that one. Okay,
So
bye,
join
Donna.
us then. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Hope Gibbs.
And I'm Donna Norman Carbone. It's time for you to get to work.
We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks with another tip from your author friends.